We have a beautiful satsang tradition here at Parmarth Niketan, where whenever it's someone's birthday, we celebrate in satsang, and we sing happy birthday in as many languages as we happen to have that evening. And there's always a big handful of different countries and languages, and so we celebrated. And he said, if we know we're not the body, how can we celebrate something that isn't really the truth? So we celebrate to celebrate. It's not a celebration of the body itself. Although the body itself, by the way, is worth celebrating. Just because we aren't it doesn't mean it isn't worth celebrating. It is a stupendous feat of creation. And if you look today, by the way, at science, we've had thousands of years of scientific study. I mean, scriptures going back thousands of years are talking about various aspects of science. We've had at least a few hundred years of what you can call modern science. We can't create a human body. We can't create a mosquito, right? Even knowing exactly what it's made of. There's plenty of scientists in the world who could tell you exactly how to put a mosquito together. Like how much carbon, how much oxygen, how much nitrogen, how those molecules bind together, the styrofoam balls and the things. And scientists could do that, but we can't create it. Cannot make it happen in a petri dish. So the body, by the way, is worth celebrating. It's a separate question. Nonetheless, it's important to mention, because just because we realize we're not it doesn't mean that we don't adore it and love it and care for it. The body is our medium to interact with consciousness. When we meditate, when I talk about being aware of the one who is aware, well, on a purely physical level, where does that awareness take place? Not 2 feet outside of my body in the ether someplace. Not over there in Hunab's guitar. It takes place in my brain. Hook me up to a brain scanner, and they can tell you, we've been studying meditators and meditation for long enough that they can actually tell you now, this person has hit the peak of meditation. So here I am having an experience of uniting with the universe. And if I were hooked up to a machine at that time, the scientists, if they're good and they've been well trained, can point at my brain scanning thing and say, peak experience. Now that doesn't diminish the fact that I'm having a peak experience, but it makes us know it is taking place in my brain. So we've been handed these exquisite bodies that not only do everything physically in terms of our digestion and reproduction and circulatory, I mean, it's incredible, but also that have come fit with the tools we need to have the experience of being one with the divine. So we actually should have a holiday just about celebrating the body, now that I think about it. However, you are right, the birthday is not that. The birthday is celebrating the being. And of course, the being is not when they took birth. But you know what? Here's the thing about our human existence. We get very busy, we get very distracted, And we tend to take the easy way out a lot. So for example, if we didn't have any rituals, if we didn't have holy books from which we read, if we didn't have buildings that had 4 walls and rooftops in which we went to pray, and we didn't mark any holidays, how frequently would we actually remember to sit down and to thank God? How frequently would we remember to sit down and to connect with God? Now, in an ideal world, we'd remember all the time. In an ideal world, our temples, our mosques, our synagogues, our gurdwaras, they'd be obsolete. We wouldn't need them. The divine lives within us. The truth lives within us. We would access it every minute of every moment. We would treat everyone in our world like that. But we don't. And so we have our places of worship, those holidays, in the same way. Wouldn't it be wonderful if every moment and every minute we remembered to tell our mothers and our fathers how much we love them and appreciate them? Regardless of how much they may have messed up. They all mess up. It's part of the package. How many of you here are in your 20s? Raise your hand if your age is in your 20s. Raise it kind of high. Okay, now keep it up for a minute. Now everybody else look around. Do these look like very old, wise beings to you, or do they look kind of like babies to you? And I mention this because this is the age that most of our parents were when they were doing that messing up that we hold on to for the rest of our lives. Okay, you can put them down. They're babies. All right, raise your hand if you've got a child who's in their 20s. Okay. So, they seemed pretty young to you, I assume. All right, if that child in their 20s says, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, we still feel like, no, you don't know what you're doing. Right? Listen to me, I know what's best. And it's important to remember that because that's the age our parents were, most of them, when they had us. They were doing the best they could. They were young, they were scared, they were kids. They had their own life drama they were dealing with, or not dealing with so well. But the point being, we have Mother's Day and we have Father's Day. They should be totally unnecessary. We should appreciate and love our mothers and fathers every day. We should worship Mother Earth every day when we get out of bed every morning. We should kiss this ground. Because Mother Earth gives us life. Without Mother Earth, we're nothing. We should worship our water. Worship our forests, but we don't. So we have Earth Day, and we have Water Day, and we have Forest Day. And every day should be them. Every day should be Earth Day and Water Day, of course. Every day should be Peace Day. Right? Really, only September 21st we commit ourselves to peace? Every day should be Peace Day. But because we are distracted, lazy, wrapped up in our dramas, we forget. Hence we have at least a day a year to remember to tell our mothers how much we love her, to tell our fathers how much we love him, to tell Mother Earth how much we love her, and to commit ourselves to work for her. to come together in peace, to recommit ourselves to peace. And on birthdays, we use them to remember to celebrate each other. So it's not so much about the body. It's not so much we're saying, oh, wow, yes, you are this body that took birth. But we're saying, thank you for giving us the opportunity to celebrate you. And so if you think about it like that, when you're the one celebrating other people's birthdays, when it's your birthday, it's an even deeper opportunity. When you realize you're not the body, then we have this dual opportunity. One, to say thank you, God, for this exquisite body. And number two, to realize, wow, I've been given this body. I have no idea how many years I have left. It's not me, but it's the only means I have, the only medium I have to experience my consciousness. Am I doing that? Am I using this body to be, as St. Francis of Assisi said so beautifully in his prayer, an instrument of thy mercy? Am I being an instrument in God's hands? And if not, no problem. It's my birthday. I can start again. So it's yet another good opportunity. New Year's, good opportunity. Mondays, good opportunity. We always like some sort of ritual excuse to start over. No problem. Sunrise, good opportunity. Puja Swamiji always says, whenever you wake up, it's morning. So if it's your birthday, celebrate. If it's not your birthday, celebrate yourself and others. And through your celebration, help them to understand what we love is your soul. We thank this body for bringing you to us, but what we love is your soul. Which is why, by the way, we still celebrate birthdays when people are old and wrinkly and decrepit. I mean, otherwise, really, what's there to celebrate of a body at that age? It's not like, oh, wow, what a fantastic body. Can't walk, can't pee for itself, can't do this, can't do that, right? I mean, you can't do anything. What are we celebrating? We're celebrating that the body is still serving as a container for this, or a vehicle for us to interact with your soul. And that's worth celebrating.